This week in games, PlayStation confirms Metal Gear Solid Delta Remake is slated for 2024, Xbox seemingly bringing their best first-party games over to PlayStation and Switch, and Unity lays off 25% of its workforce. This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 181. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
How you guys doing? Huh? You see, I almost looked at the new camera, the wide camera, but I did not.
I sure do hope that the camera angles are matching up with the rate I will. I'm going to assume they are and keep pressing forward here, Connor. Connor, how's your week been?
It's just started, so the last week was good.
Last week was good.
Yeah, I had days off work for most of it, so.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Can't complain.
I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you and we give you the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, two pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can find this show over at youtube.com/@2pennygames or mainstream podcast services of your choice every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. And make sure you do like and subscribe and share, because last week we had ourselves a real fun time recording the Two Penny Games official top 10 games of the year. Connor, you were there. I was there. Phil was here on the big screen, but now he is not, and we are here with our first news episode of the year. But make sure you go and give that top 10 games of the year a click, because I, for sure, really had a lot of fun that week. It was a lot of fun last week talking about games and all the games we loved and all that stuff. And breaking down what was our official top 10 games of the year. That was at the end of the episode, of course, after we went through all of our personal lists. And make sure you check out this latest episode of The Piggy Bank, in which me, Connor, and Phil, we sat down and we drafted the first 9 games for our Fantasy Critic 2024. That's right. We had so much fun doing it over the last year that we brought it back. Fantasy Critic 2024 for Two Penny Games is alive and well. We had an absolute blast recording that episode and talking about the future games coming down the pipeline. So make sure you go and watch that and let us know how each of us did in that initial draft. I gotta say, Connor, I'm so fucking ready for some of these games to come out, because I'm almost fucking certain that I'm fucking off of the initial 9. I'm smoking you guys' boots this year. Last year I did okay in the initial 9. That was the best I did, is those first 9. And now it's the next 9 that I got that's going to be the make or break difference, you know? But I feel like I have a clear early head start. Or do I? We'll find out here in the news segment. That'll come later.
Oh, so confident. It's so boring, because it's not true. Nobody likes lies being spit in their face or pompous...
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the first true Two Penny Gamescast episode of the month of January. You know what that means. The Two Penny Game Club is back in full force. Our review for Super Mario 64 is already live on the channel right now. You can go and watch it, give it a like, and let us know what your thoughts on it are. The Two Penny Game Club, of course, is our monthly video game book club in which me, Connor, Phil, we all sit back in the background and we play a game and then come to you at the beginning of every new month and review it and rank it amongst the other games in the series. This month was Super Mario 64. We have done games such as Portal 2, God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us. We've done Yakuza 0, a wide variety of games. Chrono Trigger's on that list, and many, many more to come. Make sure you go and give that episode a watch. And during the month of January, make sure you're playing Nier Replicant, the new one, the remake one. It was a Connor pick. How was it a Connor pick? We usually let a wheel pick. Well, you got to go watch the episode and find out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time that we go ahead and we get into the news. Also, the Mario review will be at the end of this episode. Definitely our most heated and debated conversation to date. Feelings were hurt, indeed. That's unfortunate, but sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles.
As someone on the outside looking in, it was. Definitive.
Going in, I was so certain that it was going to be you and me fighting.
Nuh-uh.
and you mellowed, actually, from what the conversations we were having prior to the review and then the conversation we had on the review. You mellowed.
Said I would.
Yeah.
I mentioned that before.
Because you're pussy.
No, it's because I just became less harsh on the game. I still rated it. Watch that.
Watch the episode. You'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to jump into our first topic of the day. Connor, I believe your first penny of the day. Take it away. What do we got going on here?
Well, unfortunately, not good news. This was the news that broke shortly before we started getting ready to record. This is an article from Reuters. Exclusive. Unity software to cut 25% of staff in company reset continuation.
Jesus Christ.
It's by Anna Tong. Video game software provider Unity Software, UN as it's abbreviated, will target laying off approximately 25% of its workforce, or 1,800 jobs, the company said in a regulatory filing and internal company memo on Monday. After the announcement, Unity shares were up nearly 5% in after-hours trading. This is the San Francisco-based company's largest layoff ever, with completion expected by the end of March, the company said. While Unity is not widely recognized outside the gaming industry, over 1.1 million game creators rely on its software toolkit each month, including the maker of the popular Pokemon Go, Beat Saber, and Hearthstone games. Monday's deep job cuts will affect all teams, regions, and areas of the business, the company told Reuters. The layoffs come shortly after interim CEO Jim Whitehurst's announcement a company reset in November. Quote, we are, quote, ... reducing the number of things we are doing in order to focus on our core business and drive our long-term success and profitability, Whitehurst wrote in the memo to all Unity employees on Monday. While Whitehurst provided no specifics on structural changes to come, a company spokesperson confirmed there will be additional changes coming. This is the fourth round of layoffs the company has conducted since July 2022. The layoff and company reset followed a tumultuous period for Unity. In September last year, the company tried to impose a new, quote, runtime fee pricing policy, which charged new fees to its game developers if certain revenue and install thresholds were met. Following a developer revolt and a steep drop-off in share price, the company revamped the new fees.
And I think that's probably what this is in response to, is you know, the fallout from that decision, that bonehead decision. Yeah, I mean, unfortunate. This sucks. Shitty way to start the year is to find out, oh shit, 1,800 people are losing their jobs. I'm starting a new thing this year, Connor, after the disaster that was 2023 on the industry side. I'm going to start keeping track. Numbers, dates, how many people, what companies, and so forth. And to start off, 25% of Unity, 1,800 people, 1,800 people lost their jobs. It's unacceptable. And it's fucking heartbreaking, and it sucks, man. Right after the holidays, you know, to have to deal with this, to figure out what's going on next in our industry, and the fact that this we've just allowed greed to just completely run amok in this industry. It's disgusting, it's frustrating, and it's exhausting to just see that 2024 so far seems to be the continuing trend that we saw last year.
It's the beginning of a new wave, and you know, I guess the one out I can give them is that at least they're giving it pretty far in advance before they know exactly what jobs they're cutting. But ultimately, that's a very light win, if you even call it a win, because ultimately 25% of your workforce is a large chunk. I mean, 1,800 is already big on its own, but when you put that in the context of the company as a whole, it as you said, it could be because of their recent decision and the hit they took due to their stupid decisions, which would be bad on its own. But I think that's giving them too much leeway. I think with that decision, which ultimately they walked back on a lot of aspects of it, it showed the colors of who work at that company. The executives, the upper management, whoever it is that's decided to lay off these jobs are probably the same people that were deciding on these stupid changes that they were attempting to institute in full. So I can't give them any leeway besides that one that I said at the beginning of this, and that's tepid at best, because I think this whole situation was probably avoidable. If not because of their stupid decision to, you know, change their pricing unit, or just the fact that they wanted to get rid of more people to save a buck. Because clearly that's what they focus on, is the profit motive, even if it means screwing over the people who actually use their product. Because as the article said, it's not It has no use outside of video game creation. That's your group that you appeal to, and you failed to do that, and now you're failing to do right by your employees. And it's only the first of many. This is not going to be any better of a year than last year. I'm going to call right now, because the games industry has been moving in the same pace it was back in 2023, and that means a continuation of layoffs. But we'll see maybe they'll cut down on this, because as I said, this is prior to them actually cutting those jobs. So the best we can hope for is they'll make it better, though better's a relative term in this situation.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what else can be said about it on the matter. This industry needs to unionize. This industry needs to figure out a way to where these elites aren't sucking up all the oxygen in the room and making all these terrible decisions. We need to figure a way to put the power back in the hands of the workers, who are the ones who are suffering and putting in all the work and doing all this stuff. So it's just like, why can some guy in a suit who doesn't know shit about video games make all these decisions that affect literally thousands of lives of people's in an instant? I don't know, but it's exhausting to just continue to hear.
And they're doing fine. No issues with them.
Oh yeah, indeed. Moving on, topic number 2 for the day. My first penny of the day: Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake 2024 release window seemingly confirmed in PlayStation trailer. This is from IGN by... Where's the byline? There it is. Ryan Dinsdale. PlayStation has listed the Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, officially Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, as a 2024 game. A trailer advertising various PlayStation 5 games coming in 2024 includes lots of entries with established release dates like Last of Us Part 2 Remastered and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but also quietly listed the release window for the highly anticipated Remake. Publisher Konami is yet to confirm any sort of release date or window itself, though given it was announced by PlayStation in 2023 and is coming to PlayStation 5, it likely knows its stuff. IGN has reached out to Konami for a comment. Not stopping there, the PlayStation trailer also listed the Silent Hill 2 remake as a 2024 release, seemingly dropping 2 major release windows in the space of 2 minutes. No. Guys, it's not happening in 2024. We are very, very far from Metal Gear Solid Delta releasing at all. Now, to cut it some slack, maybe Silent Hill 2 is coming this year. That's a hard maybe. I think Blooper Team has probably a better grip on what's happening, other than whatever Konami studio they got working on Delta. And guys, you could if you just follow marketing plot lines and how these things work, look at what else is in that trailer. First of all, PlayStation and Konami are 2 separate entities. So PlayStation does not know what the actual status of Metal Gear Solid Delta is right now. They've probably got a pretty good idea. They probably get regular updates from Konami. And Konami is probably still saying 2024 because it helps their stock when they say these things. And guys, just look at what we have so far. A CG trailer that gives us no hint at the progress of the game right now. And then a couple of in-game footage clips. That's not enough. This game is very, 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 very far away. Do not expect it anytime soon. PlayStation is putting this out for marketing, for a beat. Metal Gear Solid means something, especially to old heads and guys like me. I guess I'm an old head now, but yeah.
In that regard.
These 2 companies are totally separate entities. Maybe Konami is saying, yeah, it is coming in 24, but I wouldn't believe it. And I think PlayStation is just putting out the information for a marketing beat, and that's all it is. Silent Hill 2, maybe Silent Hill 2. But yeah, Delta Remake, absolutely not.
Yeah, more on the Delta part. It's reasonable if it comes out in 2024. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Is it likely? Well, that's a different story. I mean, I think PlayStation does believe it's coming out in 2024 just because they're going off of what Konami said. As you pointed out, their stock would benefit from a more hardline release date, specifically one that's this year. But with that incentive to lie and it also being Konami, that checks out. But at the same time, and this is actually a worry that the game itself has, which is being pushed out too much. Konami hasn't in recent years had an exactly great track record of releasing good games, much less games in general. Metal Gear Survive being one of them, which was clearly a cash grab, but it was just such an abject failure in every way, shape, and form, even with the framework of Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, that I could see them really trying to get these things out the door when they aren't ready for it. Maybe they learned their lesson and they're not going to do that. That'd be the smarter move. But ultimately, these guys are, as we've seen in the past, greedy. So yeah, this stuff doesn't hold much water, but there's a little like bottom of the cup filled with some water that could be filled up, or someone could just take it and just like dump it out, and that'll be coming out next year because they want that game to succeed. They need that game to succeed.
No, I agree. They need to, but I think expecting it to come out within the next calendar year is
it's a tall order.
Optimistic. I would say borderline foolish. Yeah, no, I don't see this game. I don't. With the information that we, the public, have right now, I do not see this game entering. I don't see it releasing this year at all. Maybe next year. Honestly, I'm not expecting it until 26. So the idea of playing a remake in 2024 excites me. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is my favorite video game of all time. But yeah, no, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Silent Hill, I think, is in a better position. It was announced a year earlier. Right? When was Silent Hill 2 announced?
About that.
It's been about a year, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it was Delta Remake we've known for, what, a couple months?
It was before the onslaught of Silent Hill titles being announced, so that seems to...
No, it was in the onslaught. Of
in the onslaught.
Yeah.
Well, I should say it was a while since we actually got one of those things, the interactive Silent Hill Ascension.
One just came out.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck it's called.
Ascension, yeah.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Yeah.
Last month.
Heard it wasn't good.
I don't know what I heard. I don't know if I heard anything about it. But yeah, no. Guys, don't get your hopes up. PlayStation is just saying things. And they do this. They do this often, where they'll just say things. And that'll be that,
Probably not coming out.
Remember when Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League was the main attraction to a state of play? And then they punted that bitch 3 months,
Which admittedly, they only did that because there was such a negative reaction to the gameplay itself.
They were going to do that anyway. They're just playing it around because of the reaction or whatever. That was going to happen anyway.
They could, but they need that game to succeed as well. The PRs had too much work going on putting it up as one of the next big games, but I don't think so at all. But we'll see for that one. And we'll see if this comes out this year.
And it's also just look at the other games that are in that trailer. Connor, I'm sure you didn't watch it, but you did?
I don't remember it, but I watched it.
Okay, so you have Last of Us Part 2. That's a hard remastered. That's a hard release date. Rise of the Ronin has a hard release date. We've seen 2 heavy gameplay trailers of Rise of the Ronin. Stellar Blade is in that trailer. We've seen multiple gameplay trailers of that game. Does not have a hard release date. You think the game that we've only seen test engine footage in is coming out in the next calendar year?
Not likely, but it's the possibility.
Y'all ain't been around the industry long enough to have this type of conversation. Or you haven't been paying attention to the industry long enough to have this type of conversation and realistically expect that Delta Remake is coming this year. It's not.
Guess we'll know for sure later on.
Indeed. Connor, moving on to topic number 3, your second penny of the day. Take it away, my friend.
Yes, we got an article from IGN here. Xbox exclusive HiFi Rush rumored for Nintendo Switch. This is an article from Wesley Yin-Pool. Xbox hit HiFi Rush is heavily rumored to be set for rival console, the Nintendo Switch, in 2024, sparking a vociferous debate about Microsoft's exclusives strategy. Insider Nate DeHate, who has a good track record when it comes to video game announcements, teased that a critically acclaimed Xbox exclusive is set to launch on a competing console platform. Reset Era user Lolilolilo. Yeah, that's the Metal Gear.
Is that not Lolilolilo? That's weird.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's a Reset Era user. So, who also has a good track record for video game announcements, then appeared to confirm Tango Gameworks' HiFi Rush is coming to Switch. Windows Central then reported that Microsoft, quote, has been exploring bringing some of its back catalog to other platforms, although some of the details remain vague and unconfirmed, end quote. IGN has asked Microsoft for comment. The reports have sparked a debate online about Microsoft's exclusive strategy, with some fans bemoaning the idea of an Xbox exclusive launching on a rival console such as the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation 5. Others have expressed excitement that a game such as HiFi Rush could get a second wind and millions more players, potentially helping to build the case for a sequel. The rumors come just 2 months after Xbox CFO Tim Stewart said Microsoft wants to bring first-party games to, quote, every screen that can play games, end quote, including rival consoles. It's a big bit of a change of strategy, Stewart said at the Wells Fargo TMT Summit in November. Not announcing anything broadly here, but our mission is to bring our first-party experiences and our subscription services to every screen that can play games. That means smart TVs. That means mobile devices. That means that what we would have thought of as competitors in the past, like PlayStation and Nintendo. Stewart's comments were reported as confirmation of Microsoft's intention to bring Games Pass to rival consoles. But Microsoft gaming CEO Phil Spencer subsequently denied such a plan. Still, that leaves the door open for Microsoft to launch more of its first-party games on rival consoles. HiFi Rush launched on January 25th, 2023. Could it set a precedent for Xbox games to expand to other platforms a year after release? Question mark. Good end of question.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. More games for more people is good.
More games, more people on more platforms, more money for Microsoft. I mean, I feel like we've been covering it for a while, and we've said it several times. Xbox wants Game Pass on everything. I just don't think the Switch can handle Game Pass, so they don't put it there. Yeah. And PlayStation is a walled garden, and so they don't put it there. And that's entirely on PlayStation's end with that one. HiFi Rush, I think, is a great game. I think it did great PR for Microsoft. It maybe did not sell maybe as well as they would have liked, but I'm sure it brought a lot of attention to great deals, such as Xbox Game Pass, and really showed you just how great Game Pass is and how rewarding it can be to be a monthly subscriber, where all of a sudden, boom, here's a great game that's going to hit most people's top 10s and really blow a lot of people away. And it was a really, really impressive game. And I think a game like HiFi Rush deserves to be on as many platforms as you can. I do not think exclusivity is the end-all be-all of things. I think it depends per title. I do not expect this to happen to every title, but for games where it makes sense to put it on other platforms to give it a little boost in sales, sure, why the hell not? I mean, in our next topic, we're going to discuss a game that game should be on multiple platforms. And HiFi Rush, I think it just kind of makes sense. It's a smaller game. It's a little more artsy, a little more low budget, but it got a lot of great buzz. So let's capitalize on that, maximize our profits, and put it where the gamers are.
It deserves that second win. It was one of the best games of last year, and I thought from when it first came out, the sales were good, but I could see that as just being the initial ones, and then it kind of died down after that bit. But that developer really deserves to be able to make their sequel, which they kind of set up.
I think undeniably HiFi Rush is going to be an IP and a series in Xbox's catalog that we will talk about alongside every other major IP from them. I think this is their brand new hotness that you can expect Chai and 808 to be on the front of every Xbox advertisement for quite a while.
I'm really hoping they do.
Yeah, I mean, on the same level of like an Aloy showing up in a PlayStation commercial or something like that. Like I think that's where we're at right now with that IP, and it's exciting. It's really exciting to have a new IP that took bold chances and came from a developer not known from that style of game, and it paid off, I think. And so let's get some monetary gain on it, and let's barrel towards probably a fully funded $70 release of a HiFi Rush 2. And that one will probably be exclusive. I mean, it makes sense. Xbox is known for not having games. Hey, we just put out one of the best games of the year. It was a cheaper game. We shadow dropped it. It was awesome. It's hard to justify purchasing a new console off of that. Just hearing that there is one great game. So let's put it onto other services so you can know how great it is, get you hooked on it, and then when the sequel comes out, boom, go buy an Xbox.
It'd be a good idea.
It would indeed. Moving on to topic number 4, our final topic of the day, and along the same lines as our last topic, it is indeed my final penny of the day. Sea of Thieves could be released for PlayStation and Switch, it's claimed. This is a VGC article from Tom Ivan. Sea of Thieves could be released for PlayStation consoles and Nintendo Switch, it's been claimed. Last week, Nate the Hate podcast said Microsoft was planning to bring one of its more acclaimed first-party games to competing platforms this year. Responding to this claim, Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb said Rare's Sea of Thieves could be set to make the jump to Sony's and Nintendo consoles. Quote, Sea of Thieves, I'll say, I've heard that was one that might be coming to other platforms, he said on Monday. Quote, when I first started hearing these rumors, I was like, this is probably about Sea of Thieves, because I've heard that that could come to Switch and PlayStation. In his new industry newsletter, GameFile, former Kotaku editor and Axios reporter Stephen Totolo also said on Monday that he'd been told by a source that Microsoft has been considering bringing Sea of Thieves to PlayStation, possibly for an early 2024 release. The pirate-themed co-op multiplayer game released for Xbox One and PC in March of 2018, when it became the first exclusive title from Microsoft to launch on Xbox Game Pass day and date with its retail release. And, I mean, along the same line of thought here, man, Sea of Thieves, games as service game, pretty successful over on the Xbox platform. I believe 15 million players have played Sea of Thieves. Those are great numbers. It continues to get really big and really cool updates. And, you know, making continuous splashes. It got that Monkey Island sort of event thing that happened last year. And I think it's a game that makes sense to put that on other platforms, you know, alongside a Minecraft, you know, which Xbox also owns and has it on multiple platforms. Granted, it started on multiple platforms, so it would be kind of shitty to take it away. But Microsoft is in this in the right ways. It feels like they're making the right money moves. Now, in 6 months, when they announce 3,000 people are being laid off or some shit like that again, you know, it'll be different. But as of right now, this feels smart. Hey, let's get the games of service, money-churning Sea of Thieves out on other platforms so that we can get even more money and more battle passes or whatever. I don't know what they sell over there on Sea of Thieves. You know, they got microtransactions for sure. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that makes sense to me. I think Sea of Thieves also has the approachability of all age ranges, so it makes sense to put it on a Nintendo Switch. It makes sense to put it on a PlayStation 5. It makes sense to get it in front of as many kids as possible because they're going to spend hundreds of hours in it.
You know, it's so associated, at least in my mind, with Microsoft. Obviously, it's on not just the Xbox, but PC as well, which, of course, it's Microsoft. If you didn't know, they own Windows, which is the main operating system of PCs. But I'm surprised they would give this off to somebody else to, you know, no longer be their personal brand. On the monetary side, of course, you want to make more money, but they don't really have many games that are just their own, which isn't a bad thing at all. I'm happy that they're in this mode of, once again, like off the back of the HiFi Rush story we covered earlier. It's good to get as much games to people as possible. I know Sea of Thieves, back before I had a PC, looked interesting to me. I was kind of hoping it would come to PlayStation. It never did, of course, because I just saw a bunch of people having fun online, and I was not a part of that. And so, hey, I hope this is true, because at the end of the day, this is all just claims that we're hearing. Yeah. Nothing's for sure. But I sure as hell hope so. You know, sustainability is the key for this year going forward. After the back of 2023 with layoff after layoff after layoff, hopefully these companies can consistently make good money with decisions like this and the games that are coming out to prevent those layoffs from happening, which, that being said, happened even when games were successful. So it's not a be-all, end-all. Unions is the better path to assuring that these companies don't just lay off people en masse. But this is not too bad either when you take this last year into consideration.
I think back to last year when Redfall launched and kind of flopped out the gate. Phil Spencer went on the Kind of Funny X cast and for some reason humbly admitted that Xbox was running third behind PlayStation and Switch. And while the numbers may make that seem that is the case, Xbox is a beloved platform, and a lot of Xbox gamers are diehard loyalists, and they're that way for a reason.
Veterans of the console wars from days old.
But there's also a lot of people who just love to play games on Xbox. Like that is their preferred console of choice. And to me, it just makes sense to just start throwing these titles out. Phil Spencer made the comment of like, yo, having great first-party games is great, but it's not going to make everyone run out and sell their PlayStation 5s and Xbox and buy an Xbox. And my response to that was, yeah, but it'll give them pause next time a generation cycle comes around, which seem to be getting shorter and shorter, and give them pause on, well, do they really want the next PlayStation? PlayStation seemingly keeps going to these games of service routes and so forth, and that doesn't interest me as much. So, hey, HiFi Rush, for some reason, came to Xbox. That was an Xbox game. HiFi Rush 2 seems to be an Xbox exclusive. I played Sea of Thieves on Switch, and I had a great time with that. And, Xbox gets expansions first. Okay, well, let me get an upgraded hardware set that plays better than a Switch, and let me switch over to the Xbox and see what they got going on over there. On top of that, I've always thought Game Pass was interesting. I'd much rather subscribe to a system and play as many games as I want. It just seems like the right marketing moves to, hey, let's throw these games around. Let's knock down these walls of exclusivity for select titles, and let's churn up excitement for sequels and for our other exclusive titles that are coming down the pipeline, and use that as our leverage to start getting these numbers in on console sales. Now, granted, I don't think console sales are the most important thing to Xbox right now. I think clearly they care more about Game Pass. They clearly care more about you just buying their game. They don't care where you play it. But they also want you to buy Xbox consoles, and the best way to do it is to sling some free dope around. You know what I'm saying? Give out some not free samples, but give out some samples. And Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves are great examples of this. These are great games. Now, when it comes time around for another Bethesda RPG, that should be probably console exclusive. When it comes time around for Blade by Arcane, should probably be a console exclusive.
Avowed.
Yes, Connor, we already know Avowed is an Xbox exclusive.
Yes.
I'm talking about the games that we're not so sure about their exclusivity next time around. But Avowed is also a great example.
Weren't they making it pretty clear that they, like, for Elder Scrolls specifically, they were going to be aiming to keep it on Xbox?
I may have missed that update, but
it was a while. I think we were still recording. It was like when they first announced that deal.
The Bethesda one?
And we were still thinking at your place before we even went online.
Yeah. That is very much a possibility, but I think it totally makes sense for Xbox to make this move. Throw some things around. Let the people know just how great Xbox first party studios are. Kill this narrative that we don't have games over here. And then wouldn't you know it? Senua Saga came out. Hey, I heard great things about that. Let me go check that out now. Like the messaging, the consistency and the messaging and the accessibility of select titles. All of this seems like a winning formula to me. And what do you lose? Another 500,000 copies of Hi-Fi Rush sold on another platform? Okay, so you lose 30% of that cut, but that's another 500,000 copies sold that you didn't have before.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? If either of these games come to PlayStation, I'm going to check them out.
The money's going to your pocket one way or another.
Exactly.
Regardless of the actual dollar amount.
So I see the logic here. I see where we're going with this. On top of the fact that exclusivity is kind of stupid anyways, but, it drives competition, and competition drives quality.
It's a boo-boo, it's a boo-boo.
Yeah. Yada. But this, to me, is shaping up to be Xbox's hungry generation. We are hungry. We are out to prove a point. We are making all these deals. We're buying all these studios. We're going to start putting our games on other consoles. We're going to start doing wild shit so that, we can catch up or even take the lead or raise our status in this industry because we believe in it. And I feel like they've got quite a few games on slate right now that I'm excited for. I'm very interested in Senua Saga. I'm very interested in Blade, Indiana Jones, whatever comes next from Machine Gun, or not Machine Gun Games, id. probably just a Doom 3 or something. I'm very interested in all of these things, and I would love to play these games. And I'd be lying if I said, hey, buying that mid-gen update that we're inevitably going to get, I'm probably just going to buy the Xbox, and I'll just have my base PlayStation 5 for the rest of the generation. It's kind of my plan right now because of all the great stuff that Xbox has been doing for the last couple of years. And I've been paying attention and watching that. And Phil Spencer, I don't know if you're fucking listening or not. You're probably not. But hey, buddy, you can sell more consoles if you just wait and keep putting out great games. I'm going to buy an Xbox at some point in the near future because your games are great and I want to play them.
So,
and I don't like playing on PC.
Yeah, see, that's your problem, Tavin. You have the best of not only both worlds, but pretty much all worlds with the PC. And anything that just happens to be exclusive, you got the Switch and you got the PS5. I'm the trifecta that is solid. I don't need an Xbox. Their decision to move most of the things to PCs made that null and void. And before you say PC problem,
I was gonna say, Connor, I'm hiding it pretty well, but underneath the skin, I'm fucking infuriated at how many technical issues we've had running these shows today. It's been fucking hell, and I'm raging. And you know where I wouldn't have these goddamn issues? In my video games, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I can accept technical issues for this. This makes sense, right? Like, all right, yeah, production's hard, and we're trying to figure it out. We're two dudes who don't know what we're doing. So, yeah, and we're working off of shitty hardware. Yeah. But, hey, when I want to sit down and play a video game, Connor, I want to play the fucking video game.
You see, Tavin, your problem is that so rarely is a problem if you're intelligent.
But it is a problem.
Oh, for you? Yeah, that sounds like a you problem at this point, Tavin. I'm able to log onto my...
It doesn't happen to me often, but when it does happen to me, ooh, you best believe I remember all those moments.
You got trade-offs for way more access to games in the form of emulators, in the form of just on these online stores. You can watch...
Emulation is piracy, Connor.
Oh, boo-hoo. Fine, you can go watch porn on it. You can go, you do so many things that just are not that, don't work that well on the PlayStation. And we can't do this podcast on a PlayStation.
I mean, I could.
Could you?
I could.
It
wouldn't be good. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for the Two Penny Gamescast news segment. Connor's cheering because we're finally done recording for the day. That is because you are about to witness we're not on that camera angle anymore. You are about to witness the Super Mario 64 review for the Two Penny Game Club starting here in just a few moments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with a friend, and let us know how you feel about Mario 64 and all of the great news that has happened this last week. It hasn't been that much news. And make sure, am I on the wrong camera? Fuck! I was on your camera. God damn it. Troubleshooting, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying our best out here. We're gonna get it to work one day. I'm gonna sit down one of these days. I'm gonna set up the stream deck and I'm gonna have it as easy, little, simple buttons. What are you doing?
Fist bumping Penny.
You're playing to the dog?
Yeah.
You're playing to the dog? Let me make sure this dog is in the shot. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great time. And until next time, Connor, I guess say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.